Hello and welcome to the 33rd episode of Business Litigation TV, the internet's most passionate show about business litigation. Today I'm going to talk about where to bring your lawsuit. Sometimes it seems simple, cut and dried. Everybody's in the same county, so you bring it in that county. But a lot of times it's not as simple. So I'm just going to run through a couple easy rules that attorneys go by. First one, and this is mandatory, is if there's real property that's at issue in the lawsuit, whatever county the property is in, that is where you bring the lawsuit. So, for example, if you're fighting over ownership of commercial property, then you bring it in the county the commercial property is in. Another one is, the plaintiff normally could just bring it in whatever county the plaintiff is located in, right? So, plaintiff lives in Manhattan, you bring the lawsuit in Manhattan. I've had it as a Staten Island resident myself. I've had many people, where they live in Manhattan, they want to sue someone in the Bronx, but because I'm the attorney, they want me to bring it in Richmond County. Can't do it. Unfortunately, attorney's location is not one of what New York allows you to pick for your venue. Venue being where you bring the lawsuit. That's the proper term. Another one is you could bring it in whatever county the defendant is located in, or one of the defendants. So if you're in Manhattan, you have a defendant in Brooklyn, Queens, and the Bronx, you can pick any of those counties and sue in that county. And your reasons, you may have different reasons. You may want, whatever the reason is why you pick, the defendant. Maybe you think one of the defendants would have favorable, judges in their favor in Brooklyn, so you bring it in Queens then, or something along those lines. Another rule where you have to realize is the county you bring it in, though, has to have some relation to the case in some way. So, for example, like I said, just because I live in, I practice in Richmond County, I can't bring in Richmond County if there's no connection there. If you go to South Carolina, you're on vacation, you fall, you get injured, you're going to bring that in South Carolina. You're not going to bring it in New York, even though you live in New York. And sometimes even if you bring it in a proper county, you may have to move it anyways. One time I had one of the departments in New York City, they were bringing a lawsuit against my client, and they wanted to bring it in the Bronx. Problem is my client was in Staten Island. Every single witness was in Staten Island. The person who New York City was suing on behalf of was in Staten Island. There was literally no reason to have it in the Bronx, besides that the agency was operating out of the Bronx. So I successfully made a motion to get it transferred to Richmond County. So that's something to keep in mind. Another time I had someone, just as another little story, I had someone in Kentucky. They lived in New York. They won a lawsuit in Kentucky against a Kentucky corporation. Now they wanted to hire me to collect from that corporation. And I'd explained to them, there's nothing a New York lawyer can do. The corporation that they want to collect from is in Kentucky. And, they won their lawsuit in Kentucky. So, of course, the solution would be to hire a Kentucky attorney. So these are just some examples, and just to explain how an attorney goes through where to bring a lawsuit. Lastly, I will mention, if, let's say, you're in New York, the person you want to sue is in South Carolina, it's for an amount over $75,000, let's say, there's a decent chance you can bring it to federal court instead, if you don't want to deal with the state courts. So that's the last option that someone could consider as well. I'm umming a lot, and I apologize for that, people. It's right after the new year as I'm recording this. It's January 3rd, so I want to wish everybody a happy new year. and I'm trying to get back in the swing of things. But I hope you continue to watch, and if you have any more questions on venue or where to bring a lawsuit, anything along those lines, please feel free to email me, jesse@jdelaw.nyc. And until next time, guys, take care.